Hi everybody, this is Avrohom Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange in Los Angeles. I hope you and yours are well. Happy to hear that some of the hostages have come home. May the rest come home very, very soon, happily and healthily. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Bo. In Parshat Bo, we have the final 3 of the 10 plagues. And there's an interesting statement in the parasha where God tells us that HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem, this month is for you. The month of what we now call Nisan is the first of the 12 months. And we go Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av, El, Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, Tev, Shvat, Adar. Which brings up a peculiar question, because when's New Year? Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of Tishrei, the 7th month. So why do we have the head month? We count the months from Nisan, but Rosh Hashanah is in Tishrei. The head of the year, the first day of the year, is in the 7th month Tishrei. Lahavdil, to separate from the Holy Mundane, it would be like in the United States, we have January is the first month, but New Year's is July 1st. Why would that be? So Rav Samson Hirsch and others say that these two Rosh Hashanahs, or beginning of the year, Nisan and Tishrei, represent two different types of beginnings. One represents the beginning of the physical year, and one represents the beginning of the spiritual year. But there's another answer, I think, that is important for us to know. And that is the idea that we're always supposed to remember the miracles that God performed for us in Egypt, and He continues to do to us on a daily basis. There's the miracles of nature, the beauty and harmony of nature. They're the miracles of the Jewish people's survival. That's an amazing, amazing miracle that we're still here after all these years and after all the persecutions. So remembering the miracles, that's why we start with Nisan, which, interesting enough, has the word Nes in the month of Passover. Yes, we have the miracle of Passover and the 10 plagues and the splitting of the sea and many, many, many miracles associated with all of that. And that's why we start counting from this month of Nisan. We're not in Nisan yet. We actually just had Rosh Chodesh Shvat, but we're getting to Nisan soon. Believe it or not, Passover is coming. And that's the idea. Rosh Hashanah, that's for Tishrei. Day of Judgment, that's different. But here we count the months so that we always remember the miracles that God does for us. And that's something that we should contemplate and focus on, because there are many miracles. The human body, what an amazing miracle. So many aspects of it, our sight, our hearing, our taste, the whole cardiovascular system. All of these are just amazing, amazing things. And we should look at all the miracles that God does for us, both collectively as a Jewish people and individually and personally as well. There's a story about a man who didn't look very religious, walked into a store in the city of Bnei Brak that sold tefillin. Tefillin are the phylacteries, the boxes of prayers that men use during the week. And he said to the man, "I'd like to buy a very expensive pair of tefillin." And the man said, "That's very expensive." It didn't seem like it fit with the way this man looked. "It's thousands of dollars." He said, "No, that's what I want." He says, "Okay, why do you want such an expensive pair?" And he said, "Well, I'll tell you a story. I live in Ramat Gan, and it's an old apartment, and it had a keyhole for the key where it's like a little hole. And you have a key that opens it from the inside and opens it from the outside. And one day my wife left to work and she took the key and locked the door. And a little later on, we smelled smoke and there was a fire in the kitchen. And I ran to the door and the key from the inside wasn't there, and I couldn't get out. And the house is filling with smoke and fire, and I was desperate. I saw my life just flashing before me, and I didn't know what to do. And I was secular. And then I remembered, you know what? When times of desperation, you have to turn to God. And I started talking to God. I said, God, please help me. Please save me. And if you save me, I will become a better Jew. I will start keeping mitzvos. I'll start keeping commandments. And our untrained, simple dog dashed into the room where there was a fire, opened the drawer, took out a key, and brought it to me. And I was able to open the door, and I was spared. And we lost everything in the apartment, but I was saved. And God was there for me, and now I want to show God that I'm going to be there for him too. So that's why I started learning with the rabbi, and I started keeping Shabbos, and I keep on learning and growing, and now I want to get a very expensive pair of tefillin to start putting on tefillin and praying to God every single day. So the month of Nisan, that has the holiday of Passover with all the open miracles that God performed, many that are mentioned in this week's portion, mentioned in last week's, will be mentioned in next week's portion. They're there to remind us God is in our lives and he does miracles, and we have to clean our glasses a little bit to look for them and realize that God is there for us and he makes miracles for us. And our survival as a nation is the greatest miracle of all. So may we have a great Shabbos, and may we continue to pray for the Jewish people around the world and for the hostages and the soldiers. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Take care.